Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again inside Milford High School as Milford TV is happy to present coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. Tim Coed here with you on the call once again as we get set for some mid-season girls volleyball action. Your Lady Scarlet Hawks getting set to take on the Kelly Rex Division Oliver Ames Lady Tigers. No longer a Davenport Division matchup, but a Hockomock League crossover match as Milford and Oliver Ames get set to clash. And we are at the midway point in the season for this Lady Hawks team. 9 games down, 9 games to go, and it has been a very solid season so far for Milford. Overall, they come into action today. Second place in the Davenport standings, an overall record of 7-2, 6-2 within the division. Those only 2 losses on the season coming against tough competition, King Philip and Canton, the only losses for Milford on the year. Meanwhile, Oliver Ames comes into today's game in 4th place in the Kelly Rex standings. They have a 5-6 overall record, 4-4 within league play. And really a very different schedule for these two teams over the last week. Milford, it has been 7 days since Milford last took the court. They last played back on September 28th, where Sharon pushed Milford to the brink on the road, but Milford was able to come away with a 3-2 victory. Oliver Ames, meanwhile, is in the midst of 3 games in 4 days. They played just 24 hours ago, taking on a tough Milton team in a non-conference game. Oliver Ames coming up on the short end, losing 3-1. They were victorious back on September 30th. A 3-1 victory over Ursuline Academy. So 2 teams heading into action today. Rest versus rust, I guess you could say, for Milford after that long layoff. We'll see if they can get right back to it against a tough Oliver Ames team here this evening. Milford taking on the Oliver Ames Tigers, and we will have the start of this match when we come back next here on Milford TV. And we welcome you right back inside the Milford gym, ladies and gentlemen. Time for some volleyball. Milford and Oliver Ames out on the court. And we are about set to begin this Hockomock League showdown. 2 teams that have squared off against one another a number of times over the years. Longtime members of this Davenport division. Now Oliver Ames a member of the Kelly Rex, but still plenty of history between these 2 programs. This is the first season they will only face each other once over the course of the regular season. Oliver Ames on serve to open up the match, and immediately an ace pulled off by Bridget McCarthy, who is just a sensational athlete in her senior season for Oliver Ames. One of the 2 captains on the Oliver Ames squad, along with Alyssa Gavin. This time Milford able to get it back over the net. This one sent to the back line. Alves gets to it quickly. Good reaction from Allie Collins. And the attempt for the dig that time from Alves, but it drifts off out of play, and back-to-back points to open this first set for Oliver Ames. We mentioned it right away in the open. Milford possibly a little bit rusty coming in here today after a 7-day layoff. And after 2 straight service points, that time McCarthy delivers it into the net. And that will send the ball over to the Milford side and Ali Zagami. Zagami, a strong serve to the back line, met by the libero. The violation on the Oliver Ames side, and just like that, Milford able to even up things at 2, just getting underway in the first set. Another serve on the way from Zagami. Set up on the left side. Nice dig by Kyra Alves, and Collins saving it once again. But that ball drifts beyond the antenna, out of play. And that will break up the service game for Zagami. Ali Zagami coming into today's action, 2nd in the Hockomock League in kills with an even 100. She'll look to build on that total here this evening. Getting underway just a little bit before 6 in the evening, a later start to this matchup. As we mentioned in the open, Milford solidly in second place position in the Davenport standings here at their halfway mark of the season. This game officially bringing us into the second half of the season. Milford has played 9 matches coming into tonight's activity, including this game right here. They have 9 to go, and positioning themselves very well for a playoff spot. If they continue to play like they did in the first half, they should have playoff position solidified relatively soon. It just depends on where they would fall, of course, in the seedings as the second half goes along. Falling behind here early, a 6-2 margin. Still early on in the set as Sabrina Harstick gets some time out on the floor, comes up empty on that attack, and an early 7-2 lead. So you're seeing it here. Oliver Ames, who's fresh off a hard-fought game just about 24 hours ago, looking to be a little bit more in sync. 7-3 now, Milford behind, and they will turn the serve over to Jillian Valenzola. Jill sends it to the back line. Set up in front for Oliver Ames' Maya Fecho. And another point for the Lady Tigers. Oliver Ames losing to Milton last night, 3-1. They came out with a decisive 25-19 win in the first set, but then went on to drop the second and third sets by the identical 25-16 margin, and then played a much closer fourth set, but ended up coming up short 25-21. That game at Milton, so this is the second straight road game for the Tigers. An 8-4 score now. And also certainly worth noting in this game that Milford is playing without the services of junior Kelly Reichert, feeling a bit under the weather for tonight's game, so she is not in uniform on the sideline for today's game. So an opportunity for Coach Sakili to get some different personnel out there on the floor in Kelly's absence. Kelly Reichert, some big shoes to fill out there on the court. She has played so solidly for this team this season. She is second on the team in kills with 77. The serve now goes to Rachel Foley of Oliver Ames, with the Tigers up 9-4 as that ball goes long. Milford trying to get in sync, and Coach Sakili wants to talk things over. Perhaps the team coming out a little flat out of the gates. It is a 10-4 lead in this first set for Oliver Ames over Milford. We'll take the timeout as well. Back with more next here on Milford TV. Rachel Foley remains on serve for the Tigers coming out of the timeout. Zagami meets that one on the back line. Set up on the left side for Brianna Croto, and Milford gets the point. And now Sabrina Harstick will have an opportunity to serve. This, I believe, is our first opportunity to see Sabrina out on the floor into her junior season. And a good hard serve to the back line, dug out by Sadie Homer. Now Harstick the first to get her hands on this one. Zagami flips it over the net and gets the kill. Harstick also a softball player. We saw her as part of the varsity squad back in 2016. The spring of this year, as now Harstick delivers an ace, getting hot on the service game, and it brings us to a 10-7 margin as Milford works their way back into this opening set. That one just grazes the net, but makes its way over. Now here's Zagami, and a nice dig again by Homer. And now it's Zagami who digs it out. Milford can't save it. Sadie Homer, the sophomore libero for Oliver Ames. Just a great dig on that serve. It looked like it was going to be another ace for Harstick. Instead, it leads to a point on the Oliver Ames side. And the serve now goes to the Oliver Ames captain, Alyssa Gavin, excuse me. Here's Zagami, she punches that one over. Now flipped up. You can see Milford going up for the block on that right side, Brianna Croto. But Oliver Ames hesitating, and it pays off. Of course, the last time we saw the Lady Hawks in action here on Milford TV coverage, it's a tough matchup against a very talented Canton Lady Bulldogs team. It ended up being a sweep for Canton here on the Milford gym. Milford has not lost since that game. As we mentioned in the open, losses to Canton and King Philip, two of the top programs in the Hawk. The only losses so far for Milford. They come into tonight's action having won their last 3 straight. Zagami to the back, and it's deflected out of play off of Sadie Homer. And now 12-9. Now Milford's libero Kyra Alves on serve. There's Harstick to the front. Oliver Ames able to get the block. On serve now for the Tigers is Kayla Raymond. Raymond leads Oliver Ames in kills with 96. Set up for Valenzola. A hard smash deflecting off of Gavin and out. As Allie Collins will get her first serve of the evening. Zagami ready for that flip over the net, and the end result, a point for the Lady Hawks. 14-11 now. As Collins will continue her serve. Serving has been a particular strength of this Milford team throughout the season so far. In fact, 4 of their players are in the top 10 in service points on the season. Ali Zagami, 4th in the Hockomock League with 91 service points. Then it's Jane Schuler with 87, Lauren Zarangian with 86, and Ali Collins with 85. Harstick can't dig that one out, and it's now a 16-11 edge for the Lady Tigers. They have been in control of this first set. We have not seen Milford go on an extended run yet. With Bridget McCarthy back on serve, she delivers that one long. Oliver Ames under the direction of first-year head coach Chelsea Correa. She had served as the head coach for the Oliver Ames freshman program for the previous 2 seasons, taking over at the varsity level this year. Katie Flynn on the front line for Oliver Ames, sends that one squarely into the net. The lead in the set down to 3 points for Oliver Ames, as we'll see the serve come from Ali Zagami. Good hard serve to the back line. Sadie Homer able to get to it, but she ends up sending it out of play. Agami can't get that one over, so again, Milford just can't seem to quite settle into a groove. Still relatively close, 17-14. Emma Petrillo on serve now for the Tigers. That one looked like it was a mishit by Shirelli. Valenzola was able to deliver it over. They thought it was on the line, but the referee calling it out. The near sideline on Oliver Ames' side obscured from our view due to the scorer's table. We could not see definitively, but Milford certainly reacted as if that should have been a point in their favor. Instead, now Oliver Ames out now to a 19-14 lead. Petrillo stays on serve, the junior. Alves to Collins, now here's Harstick. So it seems like Sabrina Harstick is going to be the fill-in for Kelly Reichert on that left side, as now Coach Sakili calls another timeout. It is now a 20-14 lead in the first set for Oliver Ames, looking to set the tone early. And we'll take the timeout once again on our coverage of Milford High School girls volleyball here on Milford TV. It's been a relatively quiet Milford gym through this first set. Decent amount of fans on hand for this one. The JV squads on each side trying to get the crowd revved up during that last timeout. Milford trailing in this opening set by 5 points. Here's Valenzola on serve. Maya Feccio able to get that one over for the Tigers. Now here's Harstick. She waits and drops it in for the point. Good velocity on that hit for Jill Valenzola. Now Harstick again, dug out by Homer in the back line for Oliver Ames. Harstick again to Shirelli, and Collins able to get it over, keeps it in play. And now Oliver Ames ends up with the kill thanks to Katie Flynn. And that puts Sadie Homer back on serve now for the Oliver Ames Tigers. And that one sent out of play from the left side. A 21-17 margin. Milford's hovered around this 4-point deficit through much of the set. Lauren Zarangian now on serve. It looked like it had trouble written all over it on the Oliver Ames side. They were able to somehow push it over, and they get rewarded. Rachel Foley back on serve now for the Tigers. And getting dangerous now for Milford. They trail 23-17. Not much breathing room. And that time it is Juliana Tracy who is able to get the much needed kill. And if ever there was a time Milford was going to go on a point streak, now is the time. That one just staying in, played by Homer. Can Oliver Ames get it back over? Indeed they do. Now Zagami, but the block in front by Kayla Raymond. And it is now set point Oliver Ames. Serve from Alyssa Galvin. Zagami gets the kill to keep Milford alive. Gavin can't seal the deal. And now it's Kyra Alves. As we get the quick substitution, bringing Jill Valenzola back out to the front line. That one flipped over, and it just stays in. Raymond let it go, thinking it would be out of play, but it sneaks in, giving Milford their 20th point of the set. Played by the libero, now sent back over for Harstick. Now to the left side for Zagami. Again, Oliver Ames able to answer. Now the hard smash dug out by Alves. Here's Zagami again to the back line, and the volley continues. And played out of bounds by Kayla Raymond. Good tough play on both sides on that volley. .21 points now for Milford. The serve continues for Alves. She just can't sneak that one over the net, and that is it for this opening set. Oliver Ames taking it 25-21 to take an early 1-0 lead. Plenty to talk about between Coach Zakili and her team as these two opponents flip sides of the net. We will step aside very briefly, and we will have the beginning of the second set for you next between Milford and Oliver Ames. Coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics right here on Milford TV. Milford in good spirits on the sidelines in between sets, talking things over with Coach Zakili. Still plenty of smiles and positivity there, so the team not getting too down after a 25-21 loss in the opening set. Looking for better results as we start set number 2 here on our coverage of girls volleyball action on Milford TV. Tim Coet on the call. As Oliver Ames gets themselves in a little bit of trouble up front, but they were able to send it back over, but now they deliver it into the crowd. And Milford gets the first point of the second set. Senior Lauren Zarangian getting the first service action for the Lady Hawks. Set up on the left side. Alves able to dig it out. Gets it right back over the net. Now Oliver Ames answering back. Another dig for Alves. Couldn't get to her feet in time. She was the only one who could make the play. After that ball ended up getting deflected straight up in the air. Kyra Alves amongst the league leaders in kills. Excuse me, in digs, I should say. She is 5th in the Hockomock League in kills, in digs, excuse me. I'll get it right. Alves with a total of 125 digs coming into action. Tops on the team, and again, 4th in the Hockomock League. Ali Zagami 2nd on the team in digs with 115. Oliver Ames keeping everyone in the crowd aware of the activity on the court, as they've sent a couple over there into the fans in this early action in the second set. And from the right side, it's Katie Flynn, the junior, for Oliver Ames, who gets the kill. An early 3-2 margin, as now we'll see the serve come from Sadie Homer on the Oliver Ames side. And a short serve. Now from Valenzola. Low line drive serve, just sneaking over the net. There's Agami. Valenzola taking charge that time, and that ball out. Oliver Ames thinking that was in, but did appear to be about a foot beyond that back line. So Valenzola will continue on the serve. A couple of players going after that one. Eventually Homer able to get it back onto the Milford side. Here's Agami. Sadie Homer unable to dig that one out. And an early 6-2 lead in the second set. Already Milford looking much more comfortable out on the floor than they did at any point in that opening set. Good communication from Oliver Ames, keeping that ball alive. Now flipped over by Zarangian. Now Zarangian sets it up for Zagami. She sends a soft one over. And good back and forth action. But eventually Zagami able to get the kill. And Milford pumped up as they open up a 7-2 lead. Shirelli, Zarangian, and now Tracy just popping it over. Kayla Raymond waiting for it to send back on the Oliver Ames side, and eventually Owe is able to get the point. That breaks up a nice service game from Valenzola. Rachel Foley back on serve for the Tigers. Here's Shirelli, and another nice dig on that back line for Sadie Homer. And now blocked in front. And Milford with the point. Good effective tandem up front for Oliver Ames with Bridget McCarthy and Kayla Raymond. McCarthy, not the tallest out there for Oliver Ames, but showing good timing and good leaping ability up front as well. An 8-3 lead for Milford as that one sneaks its way between a couple of defenders as Zagami gets another kill. And now Allie Collins, the senior captain, getting the serve. A double hit that time for Oliver Ames leads to the 10th Milford point. And we'll see the first timeout called today by head coach Chelsea Correa over on the Oliver Ames side after Oliver Ames was able to cruise relatively easily to victory in the first set. They now trail Milford 10-3. The Lady Hawks putting it together. We'll be back with more right after this on Milford TV. Collins back on serve out of the timeout. And the touch shot makes its way over by Kayla Raymond. A 10-4 margin. And that comes down as a point for Milford. Into the game now is Kate Lobiser for the first time. Checking in on that front line. Now back in comes Brianna Croto. Now set up in front. Raymond again. Dug out on the back line by Gavin. And now the hard smash goes long. And back on serve goes Ali Zagami. We continue to see that sort of change-up attack out of Kayla Raymond. Looks like she's going up for the hard hit and then just softly touches it over. Seems like Milford has adjusted to it more here in the second set than they did in the first. Milford now with the 12-5 advantage, with Raymond on serve for Oliver Ames. Kyra Alves quickly with the dig. Mentioned it earlier, Milford with a victory in their last match, which came all the way back 1 week ago tonight at Sharon High School, but it ended up being a very hard-fought 3-2 victory. It didn't seem like it was going to be a difficult match at first for Milford. They came out in the first set with a 25-14 win, followed that up with a 25-18 victory in the second set, so on the verge of a sweep. But that is when Sharon orchestrated a pretty impressive comeback. Sharon winning the fourth set 25-19. Or excuse me, outlasting Milford in the third set 26-24, then winning the fourth set 25-19. So that third set proving to be a bit of a momentum shift before Sharon won that fourth set 25-19, and then in the fifth and deciding set, Milford was able to get back on track, and they ended up cruising to a 15-6 win in that fifth set to win the match. But Sharon, a very tough opponent. And then Milford with 7 days to look back on that match before coming out on the floor here tonight against Oliver Ames. Milford trailing 1-0. They have a 13-9 lead here in the second set, as we once again see Bridget McCarthy on serve. Croto sends it hard into the net. We've seen Milford lead by as many as 6 points in the second set. The lead now down to 3, as that serve goes too long from McCarthy. A 14-10 lead as Zarangian serves it out. All the way to the front, set up for Emma Petrillo. Milford keeps it alive. Now it's Oliver Ames who saves it on the far sideline. Shirelli across the way for Brianna Croto. And that one drops down for Milford's 15th point of the set. Dug out by Homer. Now on the right side for Petrillo. She delivers it long. 16-10 now, Milford in front. They reestablish that 6-point margin. That one seemed to surprise Sadie Homer, the libero. Eventually, Milford gets the point. Zarangian ready. Now from the left side, Katie Flynn flicks it over. Milford answers right back. And that ball falls short of the net. Surprising the Oliver Ames front line. Milford now starting to pull away. Now set up on the middle for Valenzola. Good block for Oliver Ames, but Milford keeps going. The Tigers trying some misdirection, but Milford staying with the play. Now on the left side from Petrillo. Now Milford's Brianna Croto sending it long, and that breaks up 4 consecutive points on the serve of Lauren Zarangian. Now 18-11. Serve from Petrillo. Valenzola flicks it over. Al's coming up from the back line to meet that one. Now Shirelli. Quick hands for Stephanie Shirelli. That leads to the kill. (19-11). As now it is Jane Schuler on serve. Jane Schuler seeing time as the libero when we last had an opportunity to cover the Lady Hawks in that matchup against Canton. We've seen Kyra Alves serve in that role for just about every game we have covered over the last 2 seasons for the Lady Hawks, but Coach Sakili trying to change things up after Canton was able to win that first set, so they went to Schuler as the libero. She stayed in that capacity for the remainder of the game, but Alves now back as the libero tonight against Oliver Ames. A couple of players collide. Communication really key as Kayla Raymond and Emma Petrillo ended up colliding on the center of the floor. It ends up going as Milford's 20th point, and we see another timeout on the Oliver Ames side. We'll step away as well. 20-12. Milford leads it here in this second set on coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics on Milford TV. Back to live action as the points keep coming for the Lady Hawks. They are closing in perhaps on a second set win to even things up in the match. They'll try to ride it out on Valenzola's serve. But instead, Oliver Ames gets the kill. Oliver Ames back on serve, trailing by 8. As they put the ball back in the hands of Rachel Foley. Now Zarangian. It's dug out by Petrillo, saved on the left side by Grace McCallum. Now that one just popping over. McCallum one-handed to McCarthy, who sends it over the net. Now Zagami gets it past that front line. And this time, McCallum has it go off the side of the hand. Doesn't clear the net. Have to have such quick reactions on that front line. We saw it a couple of times out of Oliver Ames. Now Allie Collins on serve. She has it go off of the back line and out of play. And now 23-13 Milford. Now in the front for Raymond, and Raymond gets the kill. 23-14. Alyssa Gavin on serve for the Tigers. Hard to the back line, but Milford answers. Zarangian to Homer up front for McCarthy. Flipped over for the kill by Kayla Raymond. And that springs the Oliver Ames JV team to life. The score in the second set now 23-15. As Lobuser sends that one just out of play beyond the near sideline. Collins saving that one on the far sideline. Now Collins sets it for Zagami. Deflecting back and forth between a couple of Oliver Ames players, but it goes as a point for Milford, and now Zagami on serve, set point for the Lady Hawks. And too strong that time for Zagami. The Lady Tigers still alive here in the second set. Kayla Raymond serves it. Now to the left side. Sent over by Petrillo, but Alves keeps it going. Now Allie Collins calmly sends it back over the net. Now Collins a good dig, a couple of good digs. But couldn't save it a third time. Allie Collins doing everything she could on that volley. Now Croto pops it over the front line, and that gives Milford a second set win. 25-18, Milford able to take it. And we are now tied up at a set apiece. And once again, we will take a quick timeout, and we'll be back with set number 3 when we come back next, as the Milford Lady Hawks take on the Oliver Ames Lady Tigers. Girls volleyball action brought to you here on Milford TV. Oliver Ames winning set number 1, 25-21. Milford answering with a 25-18 win in the second set, so we are all tied up as we welcome you into third set action in the Milford Gymnasium on this Wednesday evening, the 5th of October. It is the midway point in this regular season for the Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks, who come in with a 7-2 overall record and second place in the Davenport Division standings as they get the opening point in this third set. And as we now get into this month of October, this is when you're really going to see the intensity ramped up really across all of the fall sports, as we've been continuing to follow the progress of this volleyball team, as well as the football team and the boys and girls soccer programs. An exchange of points here to open things up, as Sarangian keeps that one alive. And that one just sneaks in. Milford drawn in close to the net. Alves was all alone on that back line, couldn't get close to the ball. And the serve continues for Emma Petrillo. Over by Shirelli. Now Zarangian, Alves, and Zarangian just can't get that one over. And an early 3-1 lead in this third set for Oliver Ames. Now Valenzola. She came in contact with the net. Coach Sakili and the entire Milford coaching staff did not like the call. Zarangian playing that one well off the net, and Milford able to get the kill. That breaks up 3 straight points on Petrillo's serve. And now Valenzola will step behind the line to serve this one. And Valenzola could not get the elevation on that serve and puts the third set score to 5-2 in favor of Oliver Ames. And that one slipping in for a point. Bad communication on that back line. Oliver Ames knew it immediately. This Tigers team, they have shown some good, strong play at times this season. They haven't been able to put it together on a consistent basis. They came out of the gates losing back-to-back games to Brockton and Stoughton before finally winning their first match of the season against Sharon. They followed that up with a sweep in a victory over North Attleboro. But then 2 straight losses to Franklin and King Philip before they were able to win consecutive games against Attleboro and Taunton. They then lost to Mansfield before a strong victory against Ursuline Academy, and then most recently a loss to Milton. So they have not been able to win more than 2 in a row so far this season. All tallying up to an overall mark of 5-6. They are 4-4 in league play, so that is where you want to stay, at least at the 500 mark within league play. Playing in a very tough Kelly Rex division this season that right now has Mansfield in front with an 8-2 overall record. As the Oliver Ames cheering section ramps up once more as it's a 7-4 lead on the floor now for the Tigers. Rachel Foley on serve and gets a little lucky there as that one just barely sneaks over the net and drops in for the 0-8 point. Oliver Ames was able to jump out to a decent lead in the first set, and they ended up holding on for the win. Milford was then able to grab the early momentum in the second set as they evened things up. So it so far has been the opening points of the set that have dictated who has come away with the win. As this point goes to Oliver Ames, giving them a 10-4 advantage, and it looks like we'll see a timeout out of Coach Sakili. Indeed. So Oliver Ames making those adjustments between sets. They open up a 10-4 lead on Milford here in the third. We'll step away and be right back with more in just a moment on Milford TV. The Milford bench watching intently as the two sides retake the floor. And immediately out of the timeout, Oliver Ames delivers the serve into the net. Milford trailing in the third set by 5 as Jane Schuler checks out. Brianna Croto comes back onto the floor. Zagami with the serve for the Lady Hawks. Alves to Collins, set up for Tracy, but too much on that attacking shot. And we go back to Alyssa Gavin on serve. Sinking line drive that is dug out by Alves. Now quick hands by Allie Collins. And Oliver Ames can't save it. Bridget McCarthy doing everything she could. Going far beyond that far sideline. And Bridget McCarthy, we should point out, just recently notched her 1,000th assist as a member of the Oliver Ames varsity volleyball squad. She is the first volleyball player in Oliver Ames history to reach that milestone, 1,000 assists. A big accomplishment for a player who has spent all 4 years on the varsity team. Milford starting to close the gap now. They trail 11-8. As the sun no longer streaking in from the windows at the far end of the gym. Night has fallen here in Milford as we travel towards 7 in the evening. Milford able to get the block. That was Lobiser and Valenzola up front. The Oliver Ames lead down to 2 as Kyra Alves prepares to serve. Sends it wide to the left. And now Kayla Raymond on serve. Zagami to Collins, and Brianna Croto could not get that one over. Milford with a 3-game winning streak on the line. They were able to quickly brush off that tough 3-0 defeat against Canton with a decisive sweeping victory over Foxborough. And taking a look at the numbers in that Foxborough match, which happened back on September 23rd, Milford winning the opening set 25-8, then defeating Foxborough in the second set 25-12, before winning in the third set by a margin of 25-4. So a lightning quick victory in that game against a Foxborough team that is really having a tough season, 0-9 now overall. But after that win on the 23rd, Milford was able to defeat North Attleboro in 4 sets before that 5-set victory on the 28th against Sharon. So again, a 3-game winning streak on the line here tonight. Milford and Oliver Ames tied at a set apiece. And Oliver Ames continues to lead in this third set. It's now 14-11 as Milford is back on serve with Jane Schuler. Sadie Homer able to dig it out. Now going back to track down that ball. Set up for Zagami, but she couldn't send it over. Ali Zagami stays so even-keeled out there on the floor, whether the play ends positively or negatively. Stays very calm and collected. With the 4-point edge, Petrillo goes back on serve. Zagami another try. Stephanie Shirelli unable to get the kill, and it's now a 16-11 Oliver Ames lead. Couple of points in succession on the serve of Petrillo. Now Schuler digs it out on the back line. She'll get another chance here. She sends it over. And delivered beyond the far sideline off the hand of Grace McCallum. (16-12) now with Valenzola serving. And see how Valenzola's serve can really handcuff the opposition. It comes in on a line. Nice block in front. That looked like Katie Flynn who had the block that time for Oliver Ames, but Milford keeps it alive. Now Flynn from that right side. Set up for Zagami. Zagami gets it over the front line, but it's dug out by Homer. Now Zarangian, but too long. And a nice back and forth that time, but it leads to the 17th point for the Tigers. Valenzola now gets a rest. Sadie Homer with the serve for Oliver Ames. Stephanie Shirelli underhand sends that one over. And more substitutions on the Milford side as Shirelli and Zarangian will get a breather. Lobiser, Tracy, and Allie Zagami playing up front with Allie Collins on serve. Schuler to Collins, back to Zagami. And Homer could not dig it out. Zagami gets the kill. And a 2-point margin. Collins able to get it between Sadie Homer and Emma Petrillo. Good adjustment by Raymond as that one was, that setup was a little offline. She was able to adjust, send it over, but Milford gets the point. They end up tying things up at 17, and now Oliver Ames calls the timeout. 17 all with a quick timeout on the floor. And we'll be right back with more volleyball action next on Milford TV. Milford tying this third set up at 17 as Allie Collins serves. Alves sprawls out to get the dig. Zagami sends it over. Now up front, Kayla Raymond able to get the kill. And Oliver Ames goes back in front by a point, and right now you can see Kayla Raymond favoring the right shoulder after that hard shot. Here's Lobiser, delivers it to the back line where it's answered. Now Schuler to Alves, now Zagami ready for it. And is able to get it beyond the reach of Sadie Homer, and we're tied up again. A hotly contested third set in progress, tied at 18. Good work there by Kayla Raymond on the Oliver Ames side. Could see where Milford was setting up on the floor and changed direction, sent that one to an open spot to get the kill. The lead continuing to seesaw back and forth, back in Oliver Ames' favor. But Juliana Tracy gets the kill that ties it up at 19 all. And this set looking like it is going to go right down to the wire. Once again, Kyra Alves on serve. And a double hit on the Oliver Ames side pushes Milford in front 20-19. Good action up front. Somehow Oliver Ames is able to send it back over. And Oliver Ames gets the point, tying it up at 20. Served by Kayla Raymond. And very effective that time. You could see Valenzola going up for the fake attack before Brianna Croto sent it over, getting the point. And some bad luck there as that ball ricocheted hard off of a speaker. Up on the ceiling, came straight down for the Oliver Ames point. It ends up a 22-20 lead for the Tigers now as Milford calls another timeout. Still even at a set apiece, but in the late stages of this third set, who will emerge with the key victory here? We'll find out next here on Milford TV. Back to action. Kayla Raymond on serve for Oliver Ames. As Allie Collins sends that long. A 3-point edge for Oliver Ames. They're 2 points away from taking a 2-1 lead here on Milford's floor. Can Milford find a surge here? Nicely played on the back line by Raymond. Now here's Valenzola, Raymond there again. Now a dig on the Milford side by Kyra Alves. A hard attack by Croto. Off the hands of the Oliver Ames back line, and a much needed point for Milford to break up that Oliver Ames momentum swing. And we'll see Lobiser and Collins head to the bench. Shirelli, Valenzola, and Croto up front, along with Zagami, Alves, and Lauren Zarangian on serve. There's Alves to Zarangian, but Jill Valenzola sends it long, and now set point for Oliver Ames. Bridget McCarthy with an opportunity to deliver this third set. To the back line for Alves. Now Valenzola flips it over. Does it stay in play? Yes, it does. Just hugging that near sideline. And it keeps Milford alive, down 24-22. And the crowd now cheering on Jane Schuler. Schuler answers on the back line there. Now Zagami, the block for Oliver Ames. And that point clinches this third set, 25-22. This was a much closer set than the first two, but Oliver Ames takes it. And they take now a big 2-1 lead here in the Milford gym. The Lady Hawks needing to dig deep to come back in this one. We will have set number 4 right after this coverage of Milford High School girls volleyball on Milford TV. Once again, we welcome you back inside the gymnasium at Milford High School. Tim Coet bringing you coverage of Milford High School girls volleyball on Milford TV. And a tricky situation now for the Lady Hawks here at home as they trail the Oliver Ames Lady Tigers 2-1. Lauren Zarangian on serve for the Lady Hawks to open up this fourth set. Milford falling behind early in the first and third sets, and that went on to set the tone. Here they're able to claim the first 2 points. Milford, the second place team in the Davenport standings. Oliver Ames in fourth place in the Kelly Rex. And as this fourth set goes on, we'll start to give you some of the league leaders around the Hockomock League. All of these stats as of October 2nd, so some of these may be slightly different as we get deeper into the week. But as things stand right now, it's Stoughton's Val Whalen who is the leader in kills in the Hockomock with 111. Ali Zagami in second place with 100 coming into play tonight. In assists, it is Chloe Peters of Mansfield who leads the way with 263. Oliver Ames, Bridget McCarthy second on that list with 208. Allie Collins fourth with 170 assists. And as we mentioned, Bridget McCarthy passing 1,000 assists for her high school varsity career earlier in the season. The first Oliver Ames volleyball player to accomplish that feat. Meanwhile, Milford settling into a nice groove here on Zarangian serve, getting the first 5 points. And you can make it 6 as that one deflects into the net and to the floor on the Oliver Ames side, and Zarangian will keep it going. Can hear a lot of communication from the Oliver Ames bench now, looking to get their team back into it. From the left side, it's Harstick. Now Alves with a diving play. And Harstick couldn't save it, and so that breaks up a nice 6-point streak on the serve of Zarangian. And now the serve goes to the Tigers' Emma Petrillo. And Milford quickly gets back on track. Continuing on with the league leaders, it is Mansfield's Jess Harden who leads in digs with a trio of Stoughton players following behind Christina Gellen, Molly Turner, and Mia Bennett of Stoughton in second, third, and fourth in digs respectively before Kyra Alves, who is fifth. As we mentioned, Kyra Alves with 125 digs in total on the season. For blocks, it's Val Whalen of Stoughton who leads in that category as well with 59 blocks. A couple of Oliver Ames players in the top 10 with Kayla Raymond in sixth place with 29 blocks, and Maya Fecho with 25 blocks, and then Jillian Valenzola in eighth place in the Hockomock League with 24 blocks. It's an early 8-3 lead in this fourth set for the Milford Lady Hawks, as Juliana Tracy ran all the way over onto the Oliver Ames side, but could not save that one. Rachel Foley on serve for the Tigers. As we mentioned, Milford playing undermanned in this one. One of their top outside hitters, Kelly Reichert, inactive tonight. Battling a bit of an illness. Kept out for precautionary reasons, so it's a real tough absence for this Milford team. Kelly, such a big part of Milford's success so far on the season. It's a 9-5 lead now for Milford in this fourth set. As we get some quick substitutions on the Milford side. Kroto and Zarangian getting a rest. Zarangian with that impressive service game to open up the fourth set. Now the serve goes to Allie Collins. A good strong attack from Kayla Raymond to get the kill. Raymond, a lot of different ways to hurt you up front. Diving attempt by the libero Sadie Homer, but she can't dig it out. And Milford into double digits, 10-6. As now Zagami will serve for the Lady Hawks. Now Raymond uses the finesse game and gets the kill. And Raymond will now go on serve. Collins tries to set it. Called for the double hit. And so Oliver Ames right back in it after Milford claimed the first 6 points in the set. Narrowed to a 2-point margin. You can make it 3 now after Raymond delivers the serve into the net. And you can see a little ginger now as she heads to the sideline. She was favoring that right shoulder at times during the third set, and now you can see her grabbing at that shoulder once more as she heads to the sideline. Eleven to 9, Milford maintaining the lead for now. Bridget McCarthy with the serve, hard to the back line. Flat-footed, Lobuser able to get it over. Lobuser to Alves, Alves gets it over. Met by the Oliver Ames libero. Alves sprawling out. But Milford cannot return it, and now back to just a 1-point margin. McCarthy now on serve. A couple of Oliver Ames players getting tangled up, but they're still able to send it back over to the Milford side. And Lobuser just sneaks it past the tandem of McCarthy and Maya Fetcho. Zarangian back onto the floor, back on serve. Nice work up front by Kroto and Valenzola. And that time, Sabrina Harstick with the block. 14-10 lead for the Lady Hawks. Trying to force a fifth and deciding set. And that time Zarangian can't make it over. But we've seen a total of 8 of Milford's 14 points come on the service game of Lauren Zarangian here in the third. Now Petrillo sends it too long. Milford with a 15-11 edge now, with Jane Schuler lining up for the serve. To the back line for Homer, now set up in front for Katie Flynn. And Oliver Ames keeping it close. This will put Sadie Homer on serve now for the visitors. Dig for Schuler. Now Zagami with the hard attack, but dug out a couple of times by Sadie Homer, doing everything she could. Valenzola on serve with Milford up 16-12. That one stuffed over the net by Juliana Tracy. Tracy the first to get her hands on this one. It's set up for Zagami. Homer able to meet it on the back line up front. And some bad communication up front between Flynn and Raymond. They talk about it immediately after the fact. Up to a 17-12 lead now. Nice save by Zarangian, but eventually sent beyond the playing surface. Here's Rachel Foley. And that one sneaks in for Juliana Tracy right to that back corner. And Coach Correa now calling the timeout on the Oliver Ames side. Milford pulling out in front by a margin of 18-13. Again, trying to force a fifth and deciding set, but still a ways to go in this one. And we'll be right back with more action next on Milford TV. We return from the timeout. Allie Collins on the serve for the Lady Hawks. Milford able to save it. Now Zagami delivers it over. Set up on the left side now for Oliver Ames. Now for Milford, it's Lobiser. Homer can't dig it out. And that one just sneaks in on the far sideline. Oliver Ames thought it was out, but ruled in by the official. And Milford now opens up a 20-13 advantage. Collins will keep it going. Set up for Raymond, and she gets the kill. Alves doing her best, but she could not dig out that hard smash up front from Kayla Raymond. And so Oliver Ames trailing by 6. They put the ball in the hands of Alyssa Gavin, their captain. co-captain along with Bridget McCarthy. It's McCarthy now who sends this one over. Now Collins will set it up for Zagami, and it deflects off the hands of Gavin and off the back wall of the gym. Heading off of the Girls Tennis League Champions banner. Here's Collins for Lobiser on the right side, and now a 22-14 edge. Milford close to that fifth and deciding set. Zagami's serve going too long. So now Kayla Raymond. The serve goes short, and you wonder if that has anything to do with the shoulder issue she has been battling through since about midway through this match. Kyra Alves on the serve for Milford. Zagami tries for the dig. Milford needs just 2 more points to claim victory in this fourth set. Now McCarthy setting it up for Flynn. Valenzola with her back to the net delivers it over. It's Flynn again. Collins to Lobiser. And another good extended volley. Zagami once again going into the dive. Alves following suit. They both tried to save it. Oliver Ames now fighting back in this fourth set, closing it to 23-17. And that one delivered out on the near sideline. And so Milford goes back on serve with a set point opportunity. And Lauren Zarangian, who started off this fourth set rattling off 6 straight points, will try to send us to a fifth set. Up front now for Flynn, and she gets it over the reach of Croto and Valenzola. And that will place Emma Petrillo on serve. Set up for Croto, and somehow Grace McCallum able to just barely flip that one over. Alves can't follow suit on the other side. So Oliver Ames not quite done yet in this fourth set. They still have a long way to go. Trailing by 5. A violation on the Milford side. As things continue to tighten up now, 24-20. Croto to Alves. Zarangian sending it over. Now they set it up for Flynn. The dig by Alves. Zarangian again sends it over to the Oliver Ames side. Now Croto, the touch shot. And Oliver Ames delivers it out of bounds, and that will give Milford a victory in the fourth set, 25-20. And that will mean we will go the distance in this volleyball matchup tonight. On to a 5th set we will go. All tied up now, 2 sets apiece. A nail-biter here between Milford and Oliver Ames, and we will have the 5th set when we come back right after this. You are watching coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. This Hockomock League volleyball matchup passing the 2-hour mark now. Got underway just after 5:30 in the evening. Now right around 7:40 in the evening as we start this 5th and final set. Milford able to get that all-important first point. Playing just to 15 points in this 5th set. So the 2nd straight match for Milford that ends up going the full 5. Zarangian starting off this 5th set on serve. Dug out nicely by Zarangian. She read that well. Now setting it up for Schuler on the left side, but she delivers it too long. Schuler now checks out with the junior Sabrina Harstick coming back onto the floor. Serve on the Oliver Ames side now for the captain, Bridget McCarthy. Flipped over quickly by Zarangian, but Oliver Ames was ready. A point now for the Tigers. Oliver Ames winning the first set, 25-21. Milford answering with a victory in the second set, 25-18. Then it was a 25-22 win for Oliver Ames in the third, before Milford came through with the 25-20 win in set number 4, forcing this 5th set. Sagami calmly sending that over. Now the hard smash for Petrillo gets the kill. And an early 3-1 lead now for the Tigers. This would be a big win for Oliver Ames over one of the top teams in the Hockomock. And the block for Oliver Ames, a hard block that ends up going out of play. So what started off looking like it would be a point for Oliver Ames ends up going as a point for Milford. Milford right now with the 2nd most wins in all of the Hockomock League. The only team with more wins overall on the year is Mansfield over in the Kelly Rex. They are 8-2. Milford at 7-2. Canton, who right now leads the Davenport division, they have an overall record of 7-1. They are also 7-1 within league play. 4-2, Oliver Ames leads it as Petrillo will serve. Now Zarangian gets blocked, and that ball lands in for a point for Oliver Ames. A good dig by Alves. Now Zagami back to Petrillo. Another dig for Alves. Now on the other side for Sadie Homer. Milford takes the point. 5-3 now. As Coach Sakili looks to get a little more height up front, sending Juliana Tracy back out. Valenzola on the serve. Now That ball returned out of play by Oliver Ames, cutting it now to a 1-point margin. A good touch shot for Katie Flynn on the right side. Some folks starting to trickle into the gym to check out the conclusion of what has been a very hard-fought volleyball match on both sides. It is a 6-5 Oliver Ames lead. And Ali Zagami right now leading the cheers out on the floor as Allie Collins sets up for the serve. And the double hit committed by Katie Flynn ties things up at 6. And Collins can't get that serve over, and it pushes Owe back in front. And we'll now see Rachel Foley once again behind the line. There's Lobiser across the way for Petrillo. And the double hit on the Milford side. And with Oliver Ames up 8-6, we'll switch sides of the net as the JV squads continue to ramp up the cheers. It's always a fun battle to watch in the bleachers during these volleyball matchups, the cheering sections. Right back to action with Foley on serve. Zagami, the hard attacking shot. Grace McCallum sending it into the net. Zagami will now go on serve with Milford down by a point. Coaching staff making sure Milford was aligned the way they wanted. A nice save attempted on the near side by Emma Petrillo. Tied up at 8. And the serve for Zagami. Sadie Homer can't return it. And the Milford crowd continuing to get noisy. And that just sneaks in. Oliver Ames gave up on it. Just hugged that near sideline. And Milford now takes a 10-8 lead. Zagami will keep it going. A soft shot up front by Kayla Raymond. Lobiser now for Zagami. Sends it right to Sadie Homer. She could not dig it out. And it's now an 11-8 lead for Milford. Oliver Ames forced to call the timeout, trying to regroup. 11-8, Milford leads this 5th set. Don't go anywhere. We've got an exciting conclusion on hand coming up next on Milford TV. Earl Wilson once again keeping the crowd engaged in this exciting 5th set. These two teams have been battling hard now again for over 2 hours. as Zagami keeps the serve going and blocked out in front by Juliana Tracy. A nice run by Zagami ends as she sends that one into the net. 4 straight points on Zagami's serve. It's now 12-9 as Alyssa Gavin will take over on the Oliver Ames side. Hard serve answered by Kyra Alves. Sabrina Harstick sends it over. Now from the left side, Emma Petrillo for Oliver Ames, now blocked in front by OA. And Milford escapes with the point. (13-9). Milford 2 points away from what would be a gutsy victory. Alves will serve. Valenzola trying to stuff it up front, but Oliver Ames keeps it alive. Valenzola again. Can't keep it in play on the near sideline. And now 13-10. With Kayla Raymond now taking over the service game. Collins with the double hit. And now that forces Coach Sakili to call the timeout. So Milford had taken a 13-8 lead. They seemed to be in full control, but now Oliver Ames answering right back. It's now 13-11. And both these teams leaving it all out on the court. And we will have more coming up right after this on Milford TV. This has been some kind of volleyball matchup in the Milford gym tonight. Milford holding on to a 13-11 lead in the 5th set as Kayla Raymond serves for the Tigers. Here's Zagami with the hard smash, and she gets the kill. And a match point coming up for the Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks at 14-11. And here is Lauren Zarangian. Can she finish it for the home team? And instead, she delivers it long out on the near sideline. And it keeps things alive for Oliver Ames, now at 14-12, with now Bridget McCarthy on serve. And now Zagami sends it up front, but nobody home. And now 14-13. Now McCarthy again for Harstick, now up front for Zarangian, and Croto just sneaks that one over. Oliver Ames able to save it. Now Zarangian, she sends that long, and it ties the set up at 14 all. Milford right on the verge of victory. And Oliver Ames again able to dig deep and answer back to tie this 5th set at 14. Another timeout on the floor. Just incredible back and forth action. Just when you thought Milford had closed in on the victory, not so. Both coaching staffs going over strategy with their teams as now Milford breaks the huddle. Oliver Ames continues to talk with their head coach, Chelsea Correa. Milford a 3-game winning streak on the line. Oliver Ames trying to brush off a tough loss just a night ago. As now Oliver Ames will retake the playing surface. McCarthy continues the serve for Oliver Ames. The serve away. Alves answers on the back line. Now set up for Zagami. She sends it over softly. To the right side now. Croto flicks it over. Now the hard smash on the right side by Katie Flynn. That is in, and now a 15-14 lead for Oliver Ames and a match point for the visitors. A win right within Milford's grasp, but now it is Oliver Ames with a chance to seal it here. McCarthy's serve, and that is how it ends. A double hit up front from Milford, and shockingly, Oliver Ames is able to come back and win this final set, 16-14. And what a heartbreaking loss for Milford. Again, just so close. Had a match point, they couldn't deliver. And a credit to Oliver Ames, earning a very, very tough road win here in Milford tonight in 5 sets. Oliver Ames comes away with the victory. So with the loss, Milford will now fall to 7-3 overall on the season. With the victory, Oliver Ames improves to 500 at 6-6. What an entertaining matchup it was. And a thank you to our crew on hand for this game tonight, our technical director, Rob O'Keefe, and our camera operators, Malcolm Zale and Abby Mantos. And I am Tim Coet. Your final score one final time. Oliver Ames able to outlast the Milford Lady Scarlet Hawks in a full 5 sets. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics on Milford TV. So long, everybody.